There is a quote I thought of recently, and it was, "If they could, they would." Now, usually this is the kind of line you'd hear tossed around on a lunch break with the ladies gossiping about their husbands that they absolutely hate, but I see it more fitting for Bethesda at this point in time. I did just make that comparison, yes. Bethesda could make The Elder Scrolls 6 a masterpiece if they truly wanted to. They've had the time, over a decade since Skyrim's 2011 release. They've got the money, $7.5 billion from the Microsoft acquisition in 2021, and they have assembled an incredible team of talent from the seasoned designers to actual modders who've kept their games alive. But here's the thing, they just don't seem to have the heart to do it. Bethesda's model has sadly shifted as the years have rolled by. I like to think that they used to be the gold standard, a studio that put you, the consumer, first. They crafted worlds like Tamriel where you could lose yourself for hundreds of hours, designed experiences to make you fall in love with their lore, and most importantly, they wanted you to come back for more. And I suppose we did. Skyrim sold 30 million copies by 2016, a testament to that era. But when we return to some of their most recent titles, the consumer-first model had morphed into something uglier, something different. A relentless machine designed to fleece the pockets of their most loyal fans and the very people who've defended them through thick and thin. I mean, let's take a look at their last 3 releases as a bit of evidence. Fallout 4 in 2015 introduced paid mods, a move that sparked absolute outrage, turning a once creative community into a cash cow. Then came Fallout 76 in 2018, a live service game so riddled with bugs where they pushed all sorts of nonsense on you, from cosmetic items to buying your own private servers. And then you had the holy Starfield in 2023, where Bethesda introduced a very selfless feature where we're able to pay them money for them to provide us with quests. Paid quests. So given the direction Bethesda is clearly heading, I've got a little bit of a pitch for The Elder Scrolls 6 that they would absolutely love to hear. One that really follows the trailblazing industry trends that they are set in. Picture this, a subscription service layered on top of Game Pass. We'll have 3 tiers. Tier 3 for the newcomers, and that will cost you $50 per month. And this would allow you to wander around the world in Elder Scrolls 6. You can look, but you can't touch just yet. Tier 2 would be for the more casual fans and would only come in at about $100 per month. Now, this would actually unlock interactions with characters and the ability to maybe pick up items. I'm still thinking about that one yet. It's certainly progress, but at a premium. And for the full base game experience, well, that'll also be $100, but this time per week. This affordable scheme ensures that Bethesda's profits soar with an extremely low customer satisfaction rate, because isn't that their game now? Isn't that what they want? There was actually a recent report done by the 2025 Consumer Reports, and it showed a survey where 68% of gamers feel exploited by microtransactions. And Bethesda is just one of the many companies seemingly leading the charge here. Because why would they want to make The Elder Scrolls 6 great when they can go ahead and charge you to buy mods to improve the base game that should already be good? This disgusting model might just be their future, and it's a sad reflection of a studio that has really lost its way. Of course, there's many things on top of that which I'll also be discussing in today's video, but before we do get into it, it turns out that only 0.3% of my watchers are actually subscribed, so if you find yourself enjoying today's video, please be sure to consider subscribing. It really does help the channel, and make sure to hype this video as well if you enjoyed it. One of the main factors in this downward spiral for Bethesda was really the acquisition with Microsoft, and hear me out on this. They've been twerking for Microsoft ever since the acquisition whispers even started swirling, and it's a dance that began long before this $7.5 billion deal officially closed on March 9th, 2021. I like to think of it beginning all the way back in 2018 with the Elder Scrolls 6 teaser trailer. Those 30 seconds of breathtaking landscapes and a promise of an epic adventure wasn't just a treat for fans eagerly awaiting for the next chapter. I think it was more a calculated move to actually twerk for Microsoft. It was designed to impress them. Those takeover plans were likely in motion by late 2017, and I'm thinking that this was a way to really seal the deal. It was a strategic flex, a polished demo reel to showcase Bethesda's crown jewel, The Elder Scrolls, to a corporate suitor with deep pockets and a hunger for exclusive IPs. Microsoft. With them eyeing Bethesda's portfolio to really supercharge Xbox Game Pass and compete with Sony's PlayStation ecosystem, they saw the potential, and that trailer was their golden ticket to seal that deal. I kind of feel like it was a move that you'd expect from a studio desperate to prove its worth, and Bethesda did play it to perfection. Now, Bethesda, facing scrutiny after Fallout 4's mixed reception and the looming disaster of Fallout 4 still to come, they really needed a lifeline. That 2018 teaser released at E3 with Todd Howard's signature grin was less about about delivering a game and more about dangling a carrot. The Elder Scrolls 6 as a ultimate bargaining chip. And I suppose that's all it ever was to them. It wasn't really a game, it wasn't an experience they were going to give us, it was just that ace that they had in their sleeve that they wanted to impress the people around them, not the people who enjoy their games. Microsoft know, and especially Bethesda know, that no matter how the Elder Scrolls 6 is in terms of the gameplay, if it pushes the boundaries that it should, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows it's going to sell, and it's going to sell very well. When you attach the Elder Scrolls franchise to any sort of game, it's going to get numbers, and when you put the most anticipated RPG maybe ever after GTA 6 up on the market, yeah, people are going to play it. No matter how many people want to try and boycott Bethesda, no matter how many people say, guys, we shouldn't buy this game, it doesn't matter. People are going to end up buying it. People like myself who are making this video right here, right now. I'm hating on it, but I'm going to buy it, yeah, of course, because I want to play and experience this for myself. But I'm pretty sure I know what I'll be experiencing, and it's going to be the same clunky mess that many of Bethesda's games have been plagued with in the past, and that is due to their lack of an upgraded engine. Another major concern I feel like Bethesda have sort of cheaped out with, is the only way I can really say it, is almost their comical lack of investment into an upgraded engine, a decision that is going to drag the Elder Scrolls 6 back into the stone age of gaming technology. If you cut through this entire PR spin, this isn't some noble gesture to empower the community, it is a cost-saving tactic that lets modders do Bethesda's work for them, turning their games into Frankenstein's monsters held together by duct tape and goodwill. Now, the creation engine was originally cobbled together for the Elder Scrolls Morrowind in 2002, through Oblivion in 2006, Skyrim in 2011, Fallout 4 in 2015, and Starfield in 2023. That is a relic that creaks under modern demands. Clunky physics that send NPCs flying, dated lighting that look like a 2000s filter, and those infamous loading screens that interrupted Starfield's space immersion, with 10-second blackouts when you go from planet to planet. A far cry from No Man's Sky's seamless transition between all of their planets. The neglect isn't necessarily just lazy, but I do feel it's a deliberate choice to coast on nostalgia as well. It's a decision that could doom the Elder Scrolls 6 to irrelevance, because they believe that their creation engine is quirky and derpy, and that's the way they like it. Now, to understand how bad it really is, I want to compare it to the competition, that being Red Dead Redemption 2, for example. Now, they leveraged Rockstar's Rage engine to deliver photorealistic environments, think swaying grass, dynamic wildlife, and NPC routines that feel alive. As well as that, you have The Witcher 3 all the way back in 2015, and they use CDPR's Red engine to craft adaptive weather systems, lush forests, and interactive NPCs. Obviously, both of these games being older than Starfield by quite a few years now, and it really does help show the gap between Bethesda and other studios, the studios who actually invest in their games and want to spend money. And it's actually ironic how a company like CDPR can make far superior games to Bethesda and not push microtransactions onto their consumers. Like I previously said earlier, I feel like Bethesda sort of lie on this modders excuse, and it is the flimsiest part of their defense to keep the creation engine the way it is and not invest in it. For sure, mods have kept their games alive. Skyrim's modern community has logged over 1 billion downloads since 2011. This is a double-edged sword, however. Modders are essentially doing Bethesda's job, making their games better and more interactive than Bethesda ever could, adding content the studio should have included in the first place, quest lines that actually outshine vanilla versions of Bethesda's games. With this sort of mindset that you can go ahead and charge people for mods as well, the laziness suggests that the Elder Scrolls 6 is once again going to be leaning heavily on modders, once again using the excuse that people are just adding their own perspectives to the game, when in reality they're just fixing your game. At this point, I'll be legitimately amazed if the Elder Scrolls 6 manages to claw its way past a 6 out of 10, and that is being very generous given Bethesda's downward spiral as of late. Bethesda's golden era truly does feel like a distant memory. Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, all games that refine magic with its living ecosystems and modding potential. These games weren't perfect by any stretch of the means, but they meant something. They were engaging, and Bethesda poured care and affection into these projects. Unlike the corporate slop that we've been seeing as of late, especially with Starfield. I mean, the intended purpose of Starfield was clear. It was to demonstrate Bethesda's evolution, free of the constraints of Fallout or the Elder Scrolls, a brand new IP to show how innovative Bethesda could truly be. And yeah, they definitely showed us, well, something. If that something was a disjointed mess, they showed us that. It lacked the emotional weight of its competitors. Its story was nowhere near as good even from their previous games, which weren't really that detailed either. And overall, it was just a total mess. That's what we've got to go off as of right now. That is the case study that we should reflect the Elder Scrolls 6 with, and unfortunately, it's not exactly exactly the best of case studies, so you can understand why everyone is panicking so much. It may seem like all doom and gloom, and that's unfortunately because it is. We haven't got too much hope for Bethesda, and as a company, they're not exactly on the up. From a lack of innovation to just pure greed, I feel like Bethesda have lost a lot of fans, and they're only going to lose even more if they continue down this trajectory. But hey, as long as they're making money, who really cares? If The Elder Scrolls 6 does end up being a disappointment, then it doesn't matter all that much. We do have a lot of alternative games which will be coming out that I'm sure will fill that gap in our stomach that we've been craving in terms of RPG games. The ball is truly in their court at the moment, and what they go ahead and do with it will truly shape them for the years to come. Fingers crossed for a good outcome, but I just don't see that happening, unfortunately. But that's going to be all from me today. Hey, if you've enjoyed today's video as well, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Now, thank you very much for making it all the way to the end, and have a great rest of your day.